Our spotlight story tonight is the second and final part to a series on homeschooling here in Grant County. Here with the story is Ryan Lancaster.
Soap Lake resident Michelle Miller has been homeschooling her 7-year-old daughter Annette since kindergarten.
We tried regular preschool and it was a battle to get her to go every day.
Like the other moms we met in part 1 of this story, Miller takes a middle-of-the-road approach with her teaching program.
I use an eclectic blend of curriculum just for different subjects based on her strengths and also her interests.
Once a week, she checks in with an alternative learning program through the Northport School District.
She is technically in the Northport School District, and we get an allowance that helps cover the cost of curriculum materials. It's also a support system academically, and for me as a teacher of my child, it gives me some of the support I need.
She says being a rural area, homeschooling is more common in Grant County and there isn't so much of a stigma. Even so, she's often asked about how she expects her daughter to be socialized.
And that's always the first thing that people say is, well, how are they going to get socialized? And like my daughter, she can interact with an infant just as well as she can interact with a 75-year-old. And I've noticed the kids that when they're in the public school, they just get used to interacting with that one age group.
And like other homeschool parents, Miller says she loves the flexibility.
It gives me a flexible schedule and I get to spend time with my kid. You know, I don't want to be older and think, oh, I wish I had more time with my kids, you know.
Jennifer Peterson, also of Soap Lake, takes a different approach to educating her 5 children, who range in age from 1 to 15. Peterson unschools, which she describes as child-led learning.
Homeschooling is just homeschooling, is school at home. Unschooling is completely the opposite of schooling. It's being in life.
Instead of teaching in the traditional sense, Peterson says parents act as facilitators, partnering with kids to help them learn what they're drawn to at their own pace.
Neither of my children learned to read until they were 9 years old. You know, they learned to read when they're 9, and by the time that both of them were 10 years old, they're able to read chapter books. My son's 15 and can read computer science manuals. His mind has figured things out according to how, you know, he needs to adapt to his life or his surroundings.
Peterson admits the concept is controversial, but she believes it's due to a misperception of the practice.
Kids aren't running wild or anything like that. What it really is, it's more hands-on, and we're running with our kids. So it's a 24/7 kind of thing.
Like all forms of homeschooling, Peterson has to abide by certain rules on how her kids learn the 11 subjects required under state law.
For us, we don't test because we don't believe in forcing our children to test in any way, so we choose the other option that the state allows, which is evaluation.
Her husband Frank says their eldest son Brian has learned more outside the classroom than he might have by going to a traditional school.
He's been able to help me on projects and learn stuff, how to build stuff that most kids have never been exposed to at his age.
It's very backwards. The children that are in school right now are the ones who are not prepared for life. You know, our children are prepared for life because they are living life every single day. They go to the store with us. They earn their own money. You know, Brian's 15 and has his own job. They're in life every day.
Peterson recommends DanaMartin.com or SandraDodd.com for those curious about unschooling. For more information on homeschooling in general, visit FamilyLearning.org or WashingtonHomeschool.org. For iFIBER 1 News, this is Ryan Lancaster reporting.
Thanks, Ryan. We'll be right back after this quick message.